We are now.
Broadcast is live.
Okay, we are now live. Today we have a very special guest, and we are going to talk about being or becoming a registered nurse in the United States, especially for immigrants, and how much do nurses make per year here in the United States, and why almost many immigrants want to become nurses in the first place. So in order to do that, we have brought the person who is in that particular field, my friend who is a registered nurse here in the great state of Ohio. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, so let's start for yourself to introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Edna Ngowi. I'm from Tanzania. I'm now a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree. I've been a nurse since 2013.
2013.
Yes.
Almost 8 years.
Yeah.
That's a very big experience to be a registered nurse for over 8 years.
Yeah.
By saying that you have been a registered nurse for 8 years, that means there is a time for bachelor degree and the entire life. Overall, how long have you been here in the United States?
I've been here in the United States. This July 31st will be 20 years. Wow. Almost 20 years. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. In August, I'm going to be just 13.
Wow. I'm old folk.
Wow. We are going to have a lot of questions as a registered nurse and just overall as immigrant in general. Before I start directly is going to becoming a registered nurse, you said you have been here 20 years. If you don't mind, can you share when did you come and what way did you use to come to America?
When I came as an exchange student.
Yes.
There was a program called Work and Travel that we applied when I was home. So you're supposed to be a student still. It's for students like all over the world. They come to like summer camps and all different places. Like you come here like for a cultural exchange. You come and work and experience the culture. Then when your program is done, you are given like a month. I think it was a month. You can travel wherever you want to go, and then you go back. So when I came, my first job was to work in amusement park. So I came away from Tanzania and went to amusement park in Connecticut, and it was called Kwasi Amusement Park. So when I went there, I was a ride operator. So me and other people that came from Tanzania and some people from Russia, England, like it was like all exchange students in the company. So we worked there from July until October. Then around the time the parks are closed now because the weather start changing. Then there, because our program was supposed to be ending December, they say if you want you can go back home, or if you want you can go somewhere else. And they found another place we went, so we went to Vermont. In Vermont, we work as housekeepers until November. Then came back to New York. Then the person in New York was like, "Oh, you can go to Ohio." So, but he was trying to convince her to stay and go for school, and he said Ohio was cheaper. So,
yeah. So when you say you came as exchange student I know, but for the audience, for them to know, was exchange student is it primary, secondary, master's, bachelor? What was the level of education when you came here at that particular time?
At that time, I graduated from 6 because I graduated.
Which you finished in high school?
Yeah, so it was high school. But it was even people who finished O level, A level. So it's high school students. That program was for high school students. Yeah.
There is one of the difference between you and I at the age to come to America, number one. But the philosophy behind for me was coming in America was my dream, was my plan, and everything, whatever. But for you as high school, did you plan purposely going to America is part of my dream. So the exchange student was the opportunity which you are planning for. Or when you come here, you say, anyway, let me think about other opportunities. Or did you come purposely to excel here in America?
No, I did not. It was my dream. It was my dad's dream, but it was never my dream. It just happened, like, because when we grew up, my dad, he owned his own car shop. Like, in Tanzania we call garage,
Yeah.
but he called a car shop. Like, fix cars, buy cars, use cars, like anything involved with car. He was like a hustler, let me say. Then he also like have a license to be auctioneer. So on the weekends, he used to work so hard, but on the weekend he had time for his children. So we'll go out, we'll go to picnic, we'll go to the movies. One time we went to, when I was in Form 5, I think. Yeah, I was in Form 5. Like, it was I think it was December holiday, like a break.
Yeah.
We went to somewhere, I think it's Nazimoja or something. They call Makao Makuu ya Scout. There was
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah, it's very big.
Yes, you know how like the people, if here in the summer they have like amusement park. You go to maybe Six Flags and stuff. Over there, they have something like they bring them like seasonally. They pack their stuff. They pull their rides and stuff for a little bit for after months, and they move to another location. So at that time, there was those kind of stuff going on there. Then we went there and then we were having fun. We were like in a ride. Then my dad and my stepmom were sitting down, drinking, talking. This lady, she was a scout leader. She came when they started talking. Then I came when after we're done with the ride, then we came like, oh my God, everybody's like, oh, the ride was this way. So then we went there, then he's like, I guess they were talking and she said she was scouted. I guess they were just going around to make sure everything is safe and stuff. And she was like, my dad was like, and she was talking about like, Edna, this man here, she's a scout. I'm like, oh, I was a scout in high school. I was a scout in high school, all A level. Then she's like, wow. And then she started talking. She's like, oh yeah, we have programs going on and so and so. We send people to Africa, Europe and Canada and America. And she said, now we have like a trip going on. Like, you know how they chase the mwenge, like
Yeah, the torch, national torch, whatever. Yeah.
All over
Yeah.
Tanzania. So there was one going on and they were going to Kilimanjaro. And she says, she's like, oh yeah, usually we go. And I'm like, huh? And my dad is like, Edna, are you interested? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, just take a number. So I used to have a cell phone, the huge cell phone. Nokia, the flip one.
Yeah, I remember those one.
That was huge. So I took a number. Then we went home. Like that was, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. It was in the weekend. Then like following week, my dad was like, oh, okay. Talk to the woman, then you can see and go see what's the program's about, and come and let me know. So we made an appointment. We met at somewhere called Lego. I think there's a place called Lego in Dar es Salaam. There's a Lego.
Yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was another guy now, the one who was arranging the programs. And so I went there, I met him, and he started talking about the program. He said there's a program for au pair. Au pair, I think they call. Like you go to like a foreign country, you can go be a nun, and you teach them culture. Like, so like the American kids or European kids, like me, I go to be an au pair. I teach them about my culture. Even sometimes you can teach them about your language, and you help them with homeworks. But the family is responsible to take you to school, like a short course, like a 1-year course or something like that. So he said, apply for that. And then after a while, I guess I don't know what was going on. He said, you know what? I have another idea. What about you apply for this? So then he told us to apply for the other program.
Yeah, they want to come to America.
Yeah, me and my sister. So then they send the application to whatever the company is, and people, I guess, they come and choose, and they according to a biography and everything, they see who they like, and they chose me and my sister, the company that we came to work for. So they chose me and my sister, which they usually say is rare. They usually choose one, or they don't choose, but both of us got chosen. Then Then the guy told us, okay, these are the course and so and so, and then we apply for the course. Then my dad was like, okay, do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know, that's too far. But I was like,
Man.
I
Yeah.
was, do you have the money? This is a lot of money. He's like, don't worry. So, every time you see your dad is complaining, he's broken, he's broke. So you think like maybe he don't have the money to pay. But he's like, don't worry about it. Just go do the application, follow the process and stuff. Then she told us to apply for passport and everything. And that's how it happened. And we came. But I really wasn't like, I was never thinking. My dream was like, at that time after high school, all I'm thinking is like, oh, I want to go to University of Dar es Salaam. I want to be a lawyer. And so, but the American never came in my mind. It just happened.
So let's go now to become a registered nurse. That will be the most interesting part. When now you arrived here, I don't know at what point, because when you want to go to school, many people as immigrants, we most of the time try to go to become nurse, just overall, just most of the science or medical in general. At what point you said, I want to become a registered nurse, and you started doing that? Was just right after the exchange program ending, you just, okay, let me go there? Or how long did it take to click in, I have to become a nurse here in America, and why? And not other programs.
It took me like 4 years. But after my exchange program ended, I came to Ohio and I worked they found us a job in factory, like a plastic factory. Then I didn't like, I quit. Then I ended up doing it was a food company. I was like a forklift operator. That was too hard. Like it was one job after another, one after another. Then I ended up working in a cheese factory. In a cheese factory, I stayed there for a while. Then right there, I met a lot of Tanzanians, other people. Like you talk and people talk about this and this. Then I had back injury. Like I started having back pain. I had a pinched nerve because the job we were working was a lot of overtime. Like we used to work 6 days a week, 10 hours every single day.
Wow.
Like, man, the money was good, but man, it only was a lot of pain. Then I started having back pain, and I went to a doctor, chiropractor, and they told me that job was no good for me. I need to find a different job. Then I started thinking, I don't even know how I ended up with the idea of becoming, and I went to become a STNA. So I requested like 2 weeks vacation at my job. At that time, I already signed up to start the classes, STNA classes. So I took STNA classes.
If I interrupt, for those who don't know, CNA is Certified Nursing Assistant, right?
Yes. In Ohio, we call State Tested Nurses Assistant.
Okay. How long is that? Like, is 1 year, 1 week, 2 weeks?
That program is only 2 weeks.
Okay, so continue. I just want to make sure people understand that one. Okay.
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks. You go to school 2 weeks, and you take your The difference between state tested and certified. When you are certified, okay, you go take your test. You take your classes for 2 weeks. Then you have a test to pass your class. Then once you pass the test, you get certificate now. Then you are certified nurses aid. With that one, you can work in the hospitals, you can work in the homes, but you cannot work in nursing homes. Then to be able to work in nursing home, then you gotta go take a state test now. Then you take get a certificate, like a small certificate. That's why you call state tested nurses aid. So it's only 2 weeks. At that time, when I took I paid 500 and something, and I got my certificate, license, whatever you call. Yeah. Then I started working as an aide. I used to work with agencies, the same agency that I got my classes. There are agents, like the agencies, like they have people everywhere, like they have like clients, basic clients. Maybe you have a clients in the nursing homes, in the homes. So your employees or the worker, they call agencies aides, or they can call agency nurses. Then they come, like we say, okay, this week I have needs here and here and here. So you every day you go to different places. It's not like you work in one place.
Yes.
Work for agency, so you go different places. So I started working for that company that way. When you work that way, you get paid more compared to somebody who just work in one place. So I started working with them. It was December of 2005. So I started working with them and it was good. I used to get a lot of hours. I used to make good money. At that time, I used to make over $500 every week. Man, I
Wow.
thought rich. Yeah, it was good money at that time. That was a long time ago. So I work and then at one point the hours started slowing down.
Yeah.
Then like okay, now I need I need stable job. Then one of the places I used to go and I liked it, I went to apply and I started working there. So I stay in one place. Then after I worked for a while, because the job was not easy, the job was hard, especially when you have heavy people. Sometimes when you're in a nursing home, some people cannot walk, they cannot do anything for themselves. So you help them. It's a lot of physical work. So after a while, and I was like, man, this is too much. Maybe I need something else. Then that's when I started thinking like maybe I need to be a physical therapist. Then my become a nurse was not in my mind at that time. So then applied for school and I got accepted. I
As a
started,
physical therapist.
yeah, because I wanted to be a physical therapist now. But no, you do prereqs first before you get to the program. So then I started doing the prereqs and stuff. Then I finished my prereqs. Then another requirement was you volunteer at the like where they do physical therapy, either in a hospital, in a community, or whatever it is, or even a nursing home. You pick for 70. I think it was 70 hours or 50 hours. Then I had to do it and I volunteer. Can you imagine working for free? Follow someone, help them for free, man. But when I started, I was doing. I was like, man, it was so boring, and I'm like, I don't even want to do a physical lifting, but then I come there and when they do physical therapy, sometimes they have to do the same thing. I'm like, no, this is not
Oh,
for me.
no.
Yeah, I was like, no. Then I started thinking about maybe I should be a massage therapist. But when I was in the class, I was people, when you're in the class, everybody taking different program. They're like, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? What are you gonna do? Then I was talking to someone, they're like, well, that's a good program, but the problem is you might finish your school and you might not get a job, or it might take you a long time to get a job. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a nurse. But at that time, I didn't know if I wanted to be LPN or RN, because I was
What is the
like,
difference? What is the long form of those two? And what is
LPN,
the difference?
LPN they call licensed practical nurses, and RN they call registered nurses. There's different level of education. Like in a nursing, LPN is lower than RN. Like
Yeah.
LPN, like right now, especially right now, LPNs cannot work in the hospitals anymore. Only RNs can work in the hospital. There's some stuff RN can do, but LPN cannot do. So, like, let me say to start IVs, when you start antibiotics, the first dose it has to be hanged by RN. LPN cannot do it. Like when somebody has a PIC line, like I don't know, like now that's a little bit difficult terms. Like a PIC line, like as IV. You know how IVs some people have like here on the arm, but
Yes.
they go straight like more central line.
Oh, mm.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
not supposed to take care of those, like especially when you have to flash in and stuff like that. They are not supposed. So LP and RN, there's some stuff they can do, but most stuff we can do the same. Then so I was like, no, if I want to be a nurse and LPN they pay this much, because LPNs how much they get paid is not much different from what STNAs get paid. It's like the difference is low. I'm like, I go to school and everything, and I'm going back here and I get paid like STNA. And another thing, like so right now, there's some agencies pay STNA the same as some LPNs get paid.
Oh,
So to me, I
that's
feel like
good.
that's fault. Yeah. So then I'm like, people are like, oh, the program is so hard, and I'm like, oh my god, English is my second language. How am I gonna do it? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to try. I cannot say I cannot do. I cannot do. I have to try and see if I can do it. So I'm like, if I'm going, I'm gonna go straight for RN. So I went in school, and I'm like, you know, I'm changing my program. I want to be RN, so I changed my program to start studying RNs. Then at that time,
Mm.
all the prereqs that I took for physical therapy, master, they're almost the same as what they need for nursing. So I only had few left. When I was done, I applied for, because I was going to a community college. When I was done, when I go to say I'm gonna apply to get in a program, they said the waiting list was like 2 years. I was like, great. I was like, I cannot wait for 2 years. I might not even go back to school. So
Yeah.
then I applied to a private school. Then my GPA was really high. And then another good thing was like I already had an experience as an aide, so it was easy for me to get in. So I went straight in.
That's a very good, interesting, the reasoning behind. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question, another question, still about nursing.
Mhm,
Back in Africa,
mhm,
two things about nursing. Number one, people don't think there is a degree to become a nurse.
mhm,
I know there is a degree to become a nurse as a profession, but
mhm.
when we nurse, we think those people who are just going there because they just clean your wound, something like that. They assume you just like below even certified nursing aid, whatever. They don't even think like there is a degree. That's number one. And two, some people they assume all nurses are female, not male. Can you explain those two concepts for others? If we is a male, can you become a registered nurse? And two, registered nurse is a profession degree, not just like people
Yeah.
are thinking of nurses, how majority of people we come from developing countries, especially in Africa.
Well, nursing, yeah, yeah, now I understand what you mean. Because when we were growing up, you just, oh, they, you know how they say, oh, people who fail their classes, they go back and become nurses. Like when I was growing up, you go to Red Cross, I don't know how many classes they take that you're a nurse. But America is different. It's different because people's lives are involved. So it's a lot of studying. Like you have to get a degree to become a nurse. LPNs, like I say, they have a license. Registered nurse, you get uh, a degree. Like, because when I went to school, the first thing I had was associate degree. Then when I was done, I waited 3 years later. Then I went back for my bachelor's degree. You can get master, you can get PhD in nursing. So it's a degree that you have to go for classes, for clinicals. Like you have to follow like a somebody who's your higher. Like me, I had when I was doing my clinicals, I had to go in to observe surgeries. Like it's a lot of studying. It's not something and it's the classes are not easy, especially for us immigrants, and English is not our first language. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's not easy. So it's like people going to school to be doctors. Like that's where you start. So that's like a foundation. Like it's not easy. It's a lot of studying.
And are they for audience,
Mm-hmm.
do male
Yep.
become nurses here?
Yeah, they have male nurses. They have male STNAs. Just like yeah. So there's sometimes you have when we have male nurses in most of us is women. You got male nurses. People like people get so excited because you sometimes like some stuff are hard and stuff like maybe they need handyman, not handyman, like manpower. So sometimes when you have a man around and they're able to help you, it's nice. But they have male nurses. I work with male nurses. Yeah, and
Mhm.
they do the same thing we do.
No.
They
Uh,
pay different because there's this pay thing. When
yeah.
it's a male nurse, they might pay him more than what they pay me, but even the degree is the same. Like
Wow, that's crazy.
I know it's not fair, but they do that. It happens, and I've seen it. I've seen it. Like I know some people who are even LPNs. Some places they give me more than me, and I'm like, how is that possible? But it happens. It happens.
Let's talk about the payments. I mean, right now you are a registered nurse. Even if we don't say exactly how much you make, we don't want, but average, before you have overtime, how much a registered nurse can make. It can differ from California and Ohio, obviously, we know that, but average, and if you push yourself up to have extra hours, how much can you make in a year?
6 figures. Yeah, like 6 figures. Let me say that. Yeah, if you push yourself more, I don't know, but if you push yourself, you do part overtimes, like what do you say, songo? You can
Yeah.
make, and
So
that's my level. And imagine the people who are nurse practitioners. Nurse practitioner to start too, they start with 6 figures. As for a registered nurse, it depends on where you work and also depend on your experience. When I started as a nurse, I didn't have no experience. The place I worked, which I think they didn't pay me what I was supposed to be paid, they started me at $22 an hour. But the good thing is they did have overtimes, they did have bonuses, and you pick up. And at that time, I was later on, and I started going back to school for my bachelor's degree. So it really wasn't bad. I made good money. I think my first year was it? Did I make 65 or 55? My first year as a nurse.
for those wondering, it's 65,000 US dollar.
Yes. The yeah, so I made from that to 6 figures already, like because overtime bonuses and stuff. So if you become a nurse, STNAs they make good money because they get overtime and they get bonuses, especially
Readiness to make 100,000 US dollar is the normal thing if you add some few extra hours in those bonuses.
it's not normal. It's normal for the people who work, who can work. Some other people you work with, if you tell them you make 6 figures, they'll be looking at you like, what? Because some people don't work as much, like they just want to be comfortable. So if you work
without overtime,
Mhm.
how is the schedule? Because some people say, oh, unless they work 3 days a week or 4 days a week, then they have, how does that work usual? I mean, it is in general.
Okay, some places they do 8 hours full time. You can start anywhere from 32 hours or 40 hours a week. That consider full time. Some places do 12 hours. If you do 12 hours, you work only 3 days a week. Then whatever you pick up after that is overtime. So it depends. Like the good thing about nursing, like the healthcare system in general, is very flexible. You can maybe I can be here right now. Maybe somebody call off or something happened. They're like, Edna, can you come in for 4 hours? We'll give you $200 bonus, $300 bonus. Sometimes you get $500 bonus. Well, if I'm home and I got nothing to do, I just get up and go. Like, yeah, it happens. Like, so it's very flexible. It depends on you, whatever you want. Some people want part time. Some people want to work as needed. As needed is like you don't have no schedule, but you feel like today, you know what, tomorrow I want to go to work. Hey, tomorrow, what do you have? They will tell you maybe we have second shift or we have this shift. You just pick up. Do you want to do 8 hours? You want to 12 hours? You just pick whatever you want. Or sometimes you're like, you know what, I want to do double. You go for 3 in the evening. You come back home the next day. So whatever you want is flexible. So they have 8 hours and they have 12-hour shifts.
So do you suggest for any person who has basic interest in medical field, vocation, because for me, still nursing or medical is a vocation. Not everybody can handle the life and the patience of being a medical professional. If someone has those patients and also wants to make money, do you have any regret? Will you advise someone to take the path of becoming a registered nurse, and especially for immigrant?
For immigrant, we come here for one thing, especially Africans. Man, you come here at home, everybody's looking at you like you have to help people. That for me to become a nurse compared to other fields, I think nursing you can make good money quick if you are willing to work. You can do a lot, even by being STNA and you pick up hours. You can do a lot with those kind of money. I did when I was STNA. I did a lot of things that I never thought I could have done. So it's easy. Like I don't know how to say. It's not easy money. It's a hard work, but at the end it's worth it. Like you go, you put your hours. Then at the end of the day, then you go home. You are so tired. Then when you come, your paycheck comes. You're like, wow. Like
you get energy to go back.
oh yeah, you get energy. Like last year when COVID started, I was scared. I would stay home for a while. Then I was like, you know what? If I'm staying home, I'm single mom. Who's gonna take care of my bills? Who's gonna take care of my child? I have to get up and go because you're afraid of look, I'm gonna die. What's gonna happen to my child? But you can also die at home without food. So I was like, you know what? I have to go. So I started going back to work, but I was scared. I used to do agency because with the childcare with me, it was a little bit tough. Sometimes you want to go to school, like sometimes what about your child? It was tough. So I decided to do agency. Agency is good, but it's not good at the same another time because you go to places and sometimes you go there for the first time, you don't know the place. It's like you go to brand new places every day. They pay you a lot more, but the job is like it is hard because you go somewhere you don't know what's the facility they do. Like it's you go to a brand new place. It's hard, but they pay good. So I had to do that for a while, and by doing that, I didn't have no medical what do you call insurance. I everything I do is self pay. Luckily, me and my son we are very healthy. We don't get sick a lot. The only time we go to the doctor is like for our yearly checkups. Once in a while, maybe a child can get cold or flu, red eye. That's it. But that helped. So I used to do agency. Then when every time you go agency, like at first they never used to show or tell you if this place has COVID or not. You go there, boom, there's COVID, and they put you in a COVID unit. You're like, great. If you have a choice, you can come back home. If you don't have a choice like me, you need the money. What are you gonna do? You have to work. So I
Yeah.
got man, I need to look for one place that I can work for a while. Then I went to this place, an hour drive. They really were paying good, man. I my highest pay was $75 an hour. That is not normal. I know how. Like I was like, man, I was making some money, but I was scared of the COVID because every time you go, their own employees don't want to work in a COVID unit agency. You go to them. It was easy, but it was scary to work in a COVID unit.
Yeah.
And then I met somebody there, a guy nurse. He's from Croatia. Very nice guy, man. He kept telling me, "Oh, I made 10 grand a month," and I'm like, "This man is lying." Like he actually made 10,000 a month, and I'm like, "There is no way." And I'm like, he kept talking. You need to come to where I work. You need to come. Cause he works for one company, but the company has different locations. But if you know you work somewhere like you get tired, you can pick another location so you don't have to be in one place. So he was coming to a different location when I met him, but his main was a different place. He said, "Come on, work there." And I'm like, wow. That he gave me his number and everything. I don't know what I did with the paper. I just threw away the paper. Few weeks later, he saw me again. Why you never call me? Why? I'm like, he's like, "Give me your number." So I had to give him my number, and he kept convincing me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, does your place have COVID? He's like, no, we don't have COVID. So I'm like, okay, if they don't, then I'm coming there. So I went and applied. That was June of last year. Then I started working in one place. Man, they had overtime. When I say overtime, overtime and bonus. Everything you pick up extra, $10 an hour. Like that's how. Can you imagine? Like,
So you
man,
get your normal pay, let's say like $30 per hour. Then they add the overtime. They add like
another thing
man.
that you reach your 40, then you get time and a half. Holiday, you get paid double. Man, it was good money. At one point in 2 weeks, I made over that was take home $8,000. And I was like, is this real? And the person he works every single day except Friday, he work only until 3. He doesn't do it because it's Sabato, what they call, or Sabato.
Yeah.
And Saturday he don't work at all. But every single day he does 16 hours every day. Can you imagine?
That guy makes like at least 15,000 like in 2 weeks.
Yes. No, that man make. I was like, at first I was like, that's a lie. But when I started making the money, I was like, oh my god, that is true. But man, you get tired. When I say you get tired, at one time I went to work. I was driving home. I was falling asleep. You know how they say, open your windows. When your air comes on your face, you wake up. No, I did not. You know, it was after one. I had to park in the highway, lock my car, left my car running. I took a nap for 2 hours in the highway. And I woke up like 3 in the morning. I'm like, I'm going home. I was tired. When you come home, you're so tired. But when you're like, oh, Edna, can you pick up $10 an hour? Bonus 15. You're like, you know what? Let me just go. Let me drink some coffee. And then I go. So as a nurse or working in health field, man, you can make money. You can make a lot of money. It's hard. Sometimes the job can be hard. The family member, the patient, especially COVID time, man, people become evil. They blame you on everything, even though you're not the one who gave them COVID. Like, man, I remember one of my patients had COVID. She was blaming everybody. She was calling the police. She was like, man, it was bad. And I never even had COVID, but they're blaming us. You gave me COVID. I'm like, how can I give you something I don't have? It is tough, but it's doable. You have to be patient, very patient. You don't just go in the field like, oh, I'm going to make. You don't have patience, you cannot do it. You cannot do it.
I want you to confirm one thing. It's one I was talking to one guy, and he was saying, and I've seen to some others, like when you talk about green card, there is a green card, a company can help you to file the green card. But if you go to California, there are so many people of that qualifications. So the company can have more options of really American or people with the green card already. But if you go to a smaller state, and I'm giving an example, you go to South Dakota, you go to West Virginia, you go to North Dakota, Wyoming, I'm giving example, and you are registered nurse, for instance, let me give you an example, you are IT level, it is easier for a company to sponsor you for green card because there are no many competition. People with skill, they move out. Have you heard about that?
I know I heard about those programs, but in my field, I haven't seen anybody who was sponsored because I don't know if they get people everywhere. But now I'm thinking that right now, I'm sure because people quit. You know, some nurses died because of COVID. People quit. They're done. Like they don't want to work anymore. Like so, I'm thinking maybe around this time, if companies really desperate, they can do it. Like the place like right now everybody is looking for nurses and STNA because a lot of people change their fields completely. Like we are in shortage right now. You go to places, they say new hire $10,000 bonus if you go.
I remember when COVID started, I wish I said, man, if I were a nurse, there was the one to go to New York. Well, New York was at the peak. They were giving you 100,000 per month. You are given the hotel, flight ticket. I said, man,
I didn't see that 100,000.
What if you? I don't care. I mean, I can say like 100,000 in a month.
What?
Will take anything you need to take, even if you want me take even your hot pepper, like you will. I don't care. I need that money.
Empty. I was in a situation. I'm like, I'm going. My son is like, mommy, it's not worth it. Alex was starting to tell me, mommy, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, why?
You know how much is 100,000?
I know. Like, I think the one I saw was it 10,000 a month. And Alex, 10,000 per month. He's like, mommy, money is not everything, mommy. And he's the one who stopped me. If it wasn't for him, but later on, I found out you can make 10,000 yourself here. You don't even have to go.
You just add a few, hours. Yeah. And
10,000 is like, if I do 6 months, that's a lot of money. He's like, mommy, it's not worth it. He stopped me. He's like, mommy, don't go. I was like, man, you know how little kids, man, they say some stuff like,
it's just the words from God.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, man, I'll stay. I was tempted, man. Yeah, people made some money, but a lot of people die. That's another thing. The crazy thing is like, a lot of people die because those. Another thing is with this kind of bonuses, they say, oh, when you go and work,
risky. Yeah,
you actually work. They work you like crazy. You work like, and especially if you're in a COVID unit, man, it's risky. Me myself, I did work a lot in a COVID unit. I got to the point I was scared every time. I'm like, oh my god. And then when it comes to COVID test, I'm like, man, I hope I'm not gonna test positive. I'm like, thank God I haven't. Thank God. And people who got sick, they say, man, it's terrible. So
it is no joke. Trust me.
oh yeah, yeah.
I know,
And
and it's no joke. Yeah.
all right, yeah. And another thing, your case wasn't bad. Some people end up in ICU.
My wife was very bad case. I'm giving example. Like for me, yes, I got, but still, the worst part is because you know what COVID can do. So you go to sleep and say, am I going to wake up? Like, what you have in your mind, like, will I? For me, to reach a point, I was not sleeping during the night, so I had to sleep during the day because I might just go and sleep and just over. Let me sleep during the day.
It's scary. It's very scary because at first I was like, man, because at first the first time I actually took care of a COVID patient that I knew he was a COVID patient, man, I felt like I was going to get sick. I cried, like for real. I cried. The reason I cry is, you know how they used to do. You go somewhere, you work with someone. They don't tell you. They don't tell you if that's this person. They're hiding. That was the thing was bad. Like they're hiding. Then after
when you know you have all the precaution, then
that's what I say. Tell me so I know how to protect myself. If you don't tell me, how am I gonna take extra precaution? So you go there and you say, "Oh, this person is sick." Oh yeah, you're like, no. They're like, "No, we don't have it here." But actually, they're lying because, like, especially for us, I used to do agency. If you know a place has COVID, you don't want to pick up there, and they need people, so they're lying. They don't tell you. So later on, it became a law. Now I don't know if you say a law. You know how they have to say. So then the agents I was working with, when you go pick up, they say, this place has COVID. The pay is $85 an hour. This place has COVID. $100 an hour. This one don't have COVID. It tells you. So it's your choice now. Are you going or not? And the places with COVID, they were paid more. But you look at them like, one day, this lady was telling me, she was STNA, she came. She's like, she was STNA. She said, you know, I got $25 an hour, $30 an hour. I'm like, for STNA? She's like, yeah, I work in a COVID unit. I'm like, what? And I'm looking, you know, when you see somebody and you're here, like, you start like, why you go work? She's like, it's not that bad. People are not, but some people don't even have symptoms. It's like, I'm like, oh. She's like, oh, she says she had to wear the white overall and everything. Like, she's like, I felt like I was in a space and I feel safe that way. And I'm like, you know, she said, you know how much you could be making working the COVID as RN? I'm like, I know, but I have a child at home. She's like, you'll be fine. Then that's what I'm like, you know what? Let me try. I started try. Work. As I try, that's it. I started making those kind of tea, everything, every single day. I drink 2 or 3 times a day and I go work in the COVID unit. And I did. So, and thank God we survived. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have other questions. The other question, you have been talking about a child. You have a child, you're a single mother. There are immigrants, let's say a green card lottery winner, wants to come here. Or is international student want to come here, is a single mother or single parent, a single father. I usually tell, I don't have that experience, but I usually tell people it doesn't matter. It is hard. Yeah. Whether you were born and raised in America, but it is harder if you come here as a single mother. Yep. Can you explain to some people what are especially I'm talking about the children who are not being in the age of being staying at home alone, child care, for instance, or in all other kind of things. Can you be able to explain for people just to have aware, so that if you are a single mother, what you need to think about and to be mindful of?
Okay. Being a single mom in America, especially if you're a foreigner and you don't have like a somebody stable person to help you with it, a baby when you go to work or school is not easy. It is hard. When I say it's hard, it is hard to the point like you wanna give up everything. It's hard. Like I became a single mother 10 years ago. My son was in a diaper. He right before he turned 2, and I was already in the nursing program. When I tell you it's not hard, it's not easy, it's not easy. But one thing that was helping a little bit at that time, since I was working part time, I was qualified to get a government assistant. So they will help you with the childcare. But if you work, let me say you work 3 to 11, and you have a daycare, you can take your child. They don't they close at 6. What are you gonna do? That it's hard, and it's not too many daycares open late, or it's not too many daycares open 24 hours, or it's not too many daycares open on the weekends. So when I say it's hard, it's hard. My child became a community child. Like when I'm telling community child, Tanzanian people, Kenyan people. If I don't have a daycare, can you watch my child? The next day, the other person. Next, like man, it's not easy, man. I'm telling you. That's why sometimes people look at me like, "Why don't you have another child?" But because when I remember what I went through, and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do it, because I felt like my child and I we went through a lot, like a lot. And sad part is his dad is around, not even far, but he was not willing to help. So what do I have to do? I have to do everything myself. So it was hard. It was sometimes it was to the point like you have money, but the money is not enough even to pay your bills. Are you gonna eat or you gonna pay your bills? Like man, it was not easy. I made it, but I don't even know how I made it. It's just I made it. It's hard. So if somebody is thinking about like, oh, I just have a child and do this, think about that first. Make sure
Uh,
care.
in a yeah, continue.
Yeah, make sure you have a child care or somebody's gonna somebody's gonna help you. If not, even up to last year, I couldn't even leave my child at home by himself because I was still he's still underage because you have to be at a certain age for you to leave them at home by themselves. So and another thing is let me say you're going to apply for a job. They tell you the only position we have is night shift. You cannot leave your child at home at night. Like that's why one of the reasons I had to do agency, then I can pick up my hours. I cannot get hired somewhere full time. Then oh today I don't have a childcare, I call off. Like it's not easy. So that's why I did a lot of agency. Like as of now, I do have a full time job now. Luckily now I have a day shift, but still few hours he has to come home and without me now he my son had to mature early, like because I'm like it's just me and you we have to do this. And good thing is I'm blessed to have like a very good child. Like he is so mature, he understands, he doesn't ask for unnecessary stuff all the time. I'm telling you, if I say okay Alex, I'm going to buy you some shoes, he say no. Why? I only want to have one pair. That's enough, mommy. Like last week, me and him we were fighting because he don't want me to buy new shoes. Like, man, it's not easy, but man, I don't know. I guess it's God. He's different. Like,
But in a positive way, do
mm,
you think the experience you have gone through has created a special bond between you and your son?
yes, it did, and he's still doing, and also he made me to be a strong person, man. Like I don't. Before that, it was different, but yeah, he created a special bond. And the good thing, another thing, sometimes me and him, I'm open. Then that makes him to be more comfortable and tells me whatever and be open. So we have like for real, we have like a special bond. Sometimes I'm like maybe I will say let's go somewhere. No, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm like, okay. Oh, I'll put something on. He's like, where are you going like that? You cannot dress like that. I'm like, what? I'm your wife or your mom? You know, like, like when we went to Kentucky, I had this like I don't know, I'll say jumpsuit is tight. He took her, he's like, and you gonna go outside like that? I'm like, yeah, why? I'm like, I'm putting a jacket. He's like, no, take it off. You cannot wear that. And I'm like, really, Alice? I'm like, it's fashion. He's like, oh no, you're not going like that with me. So, and then I decided, I'm like, you know what, let me change it. But yeah, we like he created a special bond, and he is so protective of me to the point I'm like, man, boy, I'm your mom. Is like, no, I have to protect you, mom. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. He's very protective. Or sometimes I'm like, okay, let me buy you this. Is like, mommy, when was the last time you buy yourself some shoes? He told me the other day. And I'm like, huh? He's like, what about you buy yourself? Because I wanted to buy more another pair. She's like, no, buy it for yourself. I'm like, no. He's like, no, I don't need another one. He's like, I don't want you to get mad because I'm not gonna wear them. That's what he told me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm grateful.
one of one of the other thing which you have been talking many times with you about raising a child in America,
Mhm,
you have you came to learn. Uh, one of the things is to take little vacations
mhm.
with
Yeah.
your child
So,
to create those kind of memories.
mhm.
At what point that came to mind, and what has been the impact of it? Because I've almost it cannot pass in 1 to 2 months. We have never been. You've been to Disney. You are going to Hawaii this way. You are going to Florida. You are going overseas. All those kind of things you have been doing with your son. At what time did it click in? Like you have to do this, and what has been the positive impact of those? Instead of people
Uh,
saying you're wasting your money.
okay. I think what helped was like the way I grew up. My dad, who worked so hard on the weekend, we're going here, we're going there. Even though we didn't really go outside the country, but we're going to the zoo, we're going to the movies in the evening, we're going to Bacresa, we're going to the beach. Like, so I grew up knowing that kind of life. So I felt like, you know what? I want to do the same thing that my dad was doing to us. Because when your daddy works so hard or your parents work so hard, and then in the weekend they take time to spend time with their kids and stuff, it creates a special bond. Like you said, oh yeah, at least oh he cares. Instead of him going out and drinking with his friends, you know how other people do. They just go out and drink. They don't have time with their family. It creates some kind of special bond. So the way I grew up, so that's why I've been doing what I did, and gladly I'm able to travel to more places compared to how I grew up, because it was a lot of us. My dad can never take 10 of us to like other country or whatever. It was too much. So at least with me, since I have a one child now, my income is okay. I can take him places. Disney. We went to Bahamas. We went like I can even take him to Africa if I want to. Like so, and also he even tells me, he's like, "Mommy, thank you so much for everything you're doing. I really enjoyed the trips." With him, he say he rather go to places, create memory, enjoy to see places than give him money or buy him toys and do this. And he told me that himself. So I was like, wow. Like the first time I was like, you know what? Like his birthday, I used to throw him birthday parties. I'm like, I go rent a place here, do this. Like then one day I'm like, you know what? Since your dad is throwing your birthday party, what about we go somewhere? But I didn't tell him, but I say, I have a surprise for you. He's like, okay. I'm like, we get in the car. Where are we going? Where are we going? I'm like, we just go. And I drove all the way to Maryland. Maryland, we went there for the weekend. And the hotel that I got, it was really expensive hotel, but somebody helped me to get a cheap deal. It was nice. You know how like those Trump towers? Like it was
Yeah.
very nice. We walk in there, my son was like, what, mommy?
Did you
Yeah.
steal the money somewhere?
It's like, wow. It's like, we should have walked in here with tuxedo and everything. You know, we just wear simple. I was like, what? It was nice. And the room that I got, because you know what they ask you, like if it's special occasion or something, I told them it was a birthday and stuff. They gave me a room with like his own room with gaming system. Oh my God, he thought he was in heaven. Then the next day, we went to the zoo. Then the following day, we drove to, it was 1 hour to Washington, D.C. That's the first time he went to visit the museum. After that, he came back home. On our way home, he was talking, thank you, mommy, like he liked it. Then he went to school. I don't know what they were doing. They say what was the best thing you have done or whatever. He drew me and him when like we were in DC. Like it was a weird looking picture, and he said that was his best vacation ever. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and he said, yeah, I liked it. I'm like, so you want us to do more stuff like that? He's like, oh yeah, don't worry about birthday party. I just want to go to places. So since then, that's why last year I took him to Disney. He loved it. He wants to go back again. But this time, let's go with my cousins. I have to pay for other people. Like he's so nice. Like he likes to other people. Like, mommy, we go to all this. Why don't we take my cousins? My sister. I have a sister with two boys. Let's take them there. Let's them like, well, Alex, it's not cheap. It's like, mommy, you can do it. And that's what he says. I think his mom is rich. I'm like, boy, I'm not rich. Well, he's like, you can do it, mommy. I'm like, we'll see. So he likes it. He loves it. And he tells me, like, mommy, even when I go to my dad, you know what my dad did last year? He didn't take me no place, but you took me here. You took me here. I really, really appreciate that. And he tells me that. I was like, wow. So he really has an impact on him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see here if we have question from people. Sometimes people have questions.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The first question is from Faustina Dako. Please, if I have CNA experience in Dubai, can I use the same experience in the United States of America?
I don't think so, cause I remember as for doctors or nurses, if maybe you went to school in Tanzania, when you come here, they will never allow you to work. You have to go do some tests and stuff. I think you're gonna have to go back to classes and take another, yeah. But it was gonna help you because you already have experience. You know what to do. But only they're gonna need you to take the class and then, or maybe they might only make you take the test. If you pass, then you get your license.
Okay, there is this question I think we have already answered, but I just want to make sure. You say from Alfred, you say, hi EBM, is Albert from Ghana. Please ask our guest, did she start the nursing career with a CNA or straight away with a degree? And if so, how many years has it taken her to go to get a degree level?
I started to work as a CNA because I work at, well, by the time I became a nurse, I already worked as a STNA for 10 years. So I had a 10 years experience. And it's good to work as a STNA first when you go to school and when you become a nurse. It makes it easier because you already understand what is going on, what to be expected of. And you as a nurse, you can you can feel like you understand what your STNAs are going through because those are your helper. Sometimes they need help. If you've been there and you are like nice enough, you can help them and you can understand if they tell you I cannot do this, this, you understand. So it's nice to be STNA first before you become a nurse. And when I went to school, it took me a long time because when I started going to school, I was single, no child. Then I was married, had a child, and I could not go to school full time again. So I had to cut down my hours because at first, when I was pregnant, it got to the point like I was getting sick. So I had to slow down on my hours because I was sick. Also, I was still going to work, so I did not stop. So you go to work and you sick and pregnant and going to school at the same time. So I had to cut down in my hours and cut down on my school. So I was not full time anymore. I was like taking 2 classes at a time. So it took me a while before I finished. So it depends. If you go straight, do your full time hours on your program, it takes less time. But for me, it took me a while. I started my program in 2005, like my prereqs, like fresh. Then I graduated with my associate degree in 2013. So it took me a while, but because I was child married and I have very difficult marriage, like my partner was like trying to make it impossible for me to go to school. So it took me a while, and in the middle of that, I got divorced, became a single mom, And the only thing I can tell you, don't give up. Even though it took me a long time, I never gave up. I finally finished it. Now I'm enjoying the fruits, even though it was painful. Yeah. So now I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, I guess. Yeah.
There's another question from Danny.
Mhm.
What is the monthly salary of a registered nurse in the United States?
It depends on where you are and what position you are. Some nurses like management, because the level I am right now, I can become a DON, but they get paid salary. I don't like to be paid salary because once you get paid salary, I think the DON you can make up to 6 figures. That's like, it depends on where you work. So you can make good money. I really don't know exactly because everywhere they pay you different. So you can make 6 figures as DON, but when you get paid salary, you might end up putting a lot of hours. And if I get hourly, I might end up making more money than the person who is making salary. Because man, when you make, you like some places, like maybe they have a call off, they don't have nobody else to cover. You are DON and you are a nurse. You have to go back in to cover that position. Once you get paid salary, they're not gonna pay you extra. It's still the same salary. But if I'm getting paid hourly, whatever extra I work is overtime.
Yeah.
So that's why I usually suggest, I advise people, do not take salary when you're in this field because you're gonna.
I mean, most of the field, if you work on salary, there is no extra. If you have more hours, is part of your job.
Yeah.
Myself, I work on the salary, so if I have a call at midnight and whatever, it's part of my job. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can still make good money. They can still make good money, but the hours you put in and the person who works hourly, they may end up making more money than you.
Yeah. Can you, can you give more detail about how long LPN and the registered nurse programs are? Just the detail about the two.
Okay, the LPN can be 1 year. They can go, sometimes they have this hybrid. You can go to school for 1 year and become an LPN. You can go to school for 2 years. So it depends. If you're full-time, you can do 1 year. If you're part-time, you can do 2 years. Also, there's a program as registered nurse. You can, after you take your prereqs, because there's classes you take before you actually get in the program. You can go to school for 2 years and become an associate. You can go for 4 years and get a bachelor's degree if you are going full-time. That's full-time. But if you're going part-time, now you go at your own pace. You can take even 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. You just go on your own pace.
Alfred is asking, even find out from Edna, if someone is at the age of 30, how fast can you climb the nursing ladder for a career?
Even 2 years, you can do it. Even when I was going to school, when I was doing my first degree, we had somebody who was 50 some years old lady. We were going to school together. So the age is no limit. But you can even go there at 70 and still do it. It depends on you, your focus, how serious you are, and like you can even do 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years, you're done. You can do it.
Yeah, so those are quicker question. I want just to first of all to go directly to you. Then I will start. Someone is asking Mauka Dante, CNA needs to be certified here. It is not that hard. Few weeks only if you are good to go. Someone was just responding to someone about CNA.
Yep, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. Only 2 weeks. Some people, because 2 weeks you full-time, you go full-time. But some people go for a month, but they take part-time. So because I've seen people go for a month, or people go for longer than that, because people work and they go according to their schedule. Maybe they can do 1 or 2 times a week. So the fastest one is 2 weeks.
Okay. So I'm just reading some of the comment people. They are saying thank you for us to be online. My dream is to go to America. Danny is saying is from Ghana. Good day, EBM. And Edna, here it is night.
Yeah. Okay. Night here at 107 in Ohio.
Yeah, it is 1:07 a.m. For me, it is 12:07 here. Yeah. So someone, Frediko Aunga will say, hi, EBM and Edna, watching you from Kenya. Thank you so much.
Oh, habari yako, mambo, how the sasa from Kenya. I have Kenya friends too, like, yeah.
Yeah. Someone
I met a lady in my work, like she's do agency. She's from Kenya too. She makes good money. Man. She's working with the agency. When she told me, and I'm like, what? As STNA, and now she wants to go to school to be a nurse, and she's a single mom too now. Sad, but that's life.
Yeah. Frederick Ounga is asking, I would like to hear from a CPA who is practicing in the US, consider interviewing one. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to interview people from different fields. So we'll keep finding some people. I've already talked to Dr. Frankie Minja, who is a professional expert doctor. He said, yeah, he agreed to be live here one day, but he traveled. So I'm just figuring out the time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Also, another thing I was like the one who have the people who has questioned about being single and single mom when we're going to school. The thing I can suggest, like if you are a single mom and stuff, there is help. You can apply for government assistance. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna feel ashamed. I used those assistance, and it helped. It helped me so much. You get daycare. My son, when he started going to preschool, the school that he was going is a private school, but with the government help, they pay for it because I was poor at the time, so they pay for it. So if you know how to look for them assistant and stuff in this country, anything is possible. That's how I end up being where I am, because people, you got good friends, Americans, and they tell you do this and do this, man. That's how I survive. Yeah, you will get help. You get help. So don't be afraid to ask for help and go for it. When I was, before I became a nurse, like all the time, when I was getting the government insurance, free medical care. So it does help. I had food stamps, government as housing. The only thing I never got was the cash, but I use it all, man. Like I had to survive.
And thank you for bringing it up, because I was talking with my wife on one of the video. People should not feel ashamed when you need help. There are resources there.
There's so much stuff. There's so much. Me, I wish I knew more, but even what I knew and what kind of help I got, it helped me a lot. Because if I did not have that kind of help, let me say, you go to school, you work part-time, you go to a housing, somebody is telling you rent is $700. Where am I going to get $700 if I'm working part-time? You can. But if you have a government housing, they go by your... At one point, I was only paying $130 something an hour was my monthly rent. I didn't have to pay gas. I didn't have to pay trash and stuff like that. Only thing you had to pay was electric. And then even though if the electric is high, you can go and they check your income, you go on the budget. So there's a lot of help out there. But don't be too comfortable and just be there. Oh,
yes, that was my point.
Because sometimes people's like, oh, if I do too many hours, they're gonna increase my rent. So what? Just use it to get to your next step. That's what I did.
Yeah, use this one when you need it.
Yep.
Don't depend on it like I'm not finding a job, I'm not doing this one. Stay comfortable and abuse the system.
Yeah, some people do.
I want to make sure that people should understand. So people should understand that don't abuse the system. Just go there.
There's some people who actually need it, man. There's some people who actually need it. And some people who are really abusing the system. Because I needed, when I was done, when I started working and I was making good income, because my son was, I told you, they were paying for his school, private, for 3 years. But when I finished, when I started working, I was like, you know what? I can do it now. I don't want to get the help from the government. At that time, I didn't know that once you are in the program, they can still pay you until you graduate high school. I withdraw myself because I started paying on my own. So it's like some people really actually need the help. You cannot abuse it. If you are able to do it, just do it. So since my son he be on second grade, I started pay his school fees on my own until now. But if I wanna play the system, I can do it. I know how to, but I'm not gonna do it because I know, you know what? There's some people out there who needs it. There's some people there who needs it.
Exactly. That is the most important thing. Like when you need it, use it. When you are stable, get
Yep.
out, let
Yep.
others who really need it to be in the system. For instance,
Yep.
if you're in the, let's say if you are low income housing, the government or state funded programs, and your income is higher or you are avoiding to do, there are people, single mothers with kids, whatever, they're on the waiting list for like a year sometimes. Why can't it be stable? Get out, allow, thank you, the system allows someone to get in and to be in a position also to be supported so that they can be able to do.
And give back to the community, they say. Yep.
There is a question about what are some of the benefits and the bonuses you have been talking the nurses get in the United States.
Oh, like the bonuses, like let me say somebody call off and they really need help. Maybe it's your day off, but they need somebody. They say, Edna, can you pick up today? We'll give you $200 bonus. So whatever you make it per hour, but you get $200 extra. 300. Sometimes they give you 500. Or some places they say, whatever you get paid per hour, we'll give you $10 on top of that. Like maybe $50 an hour. You get extra $10. Or some places right now, you go, they say, we are looking for nurses. When you come to sign in, $10,000 bonus. You go apply a job somewhere, you negotiate your salary, but they also, on top of that, they give you $10,000. They don't give you right away. They will spread that maybe 3 or 4 times. Maybe after 30 days or 3 months you're there, they give you your first payment. Second, wait 3 more months. Like where I am right now, I'm getting $7,500 bonus. My first one will be next week. Yeah, next week, my next pay. I'm getting my first check. I don't know which one they say. My first bonus. And also on top of that, every time we pick up, we get bonus $200, $300. I even got $500 one time. So those are the bonuses, the benefits of doing what we do.
What is the highest bonus have you ever received? Like I'm talking about the one like someone called you off, not like the bonus for starting the new job. I'm talking like, okay, can you come today? We'll give you extra this amount. How much is the maximum I've ever received in one shift, for instance, as a bonus or extra encouragement? How much?
$500.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
On top of your per hour, how much you are making?
Yeah. Like let me say you already off. Maybe that week you already have your 40 hours, all right? Then you get called in for 12 hours. So those 12 hours, you get time and a half. Then on top of that, you also get that $500. So whatever you make for that weekend, also you see there bonus $500. So the maximum I got is $500.
Wow.
Yeah.
People go and become nurses.
But hey man, at the end of the week, man, you knocking out, you're like, my lower back is killing me. Standing, like I have done 16 hours straight. No, not straight standing, but my shifts are 12 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours. I pick up sometimes. One time, man, this one was like not too long ago. I went to work at night, in the evening at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I got off the next day. No, it was 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Then after there, I didn't go home. I went to my other job from 8 to 3 in the evening.
Yeah.
When I got home in the evening, I was out. Like, yeah. And another time, I worked like straight 24 hours. Not straight, like from one job to go to another one, 24 hours without sleeping. But yeah, came from one job, it was no COVID. Then I went to another side, it was COVID. I had COVID patient, and I got there. Guess what? I had 12 patient, no aid. Man, it was a night. Oh, I was like, man, this money will kill us one of these days. But they were giving $65 an hour. I'm like, you know what? Let me just go back when I get my paycheck.
And speaking of the bonuses, kind of the bonuses we are talking about, is there any time, for instance, they give you, okay, if you come here, maybe based also the distance where you are, we want you to do maybe 2 shifts, but you have between maybe 5 hours for rest or 8 hours. Say, okay, apart from 400 we are going to give you, we're going to give you the hotel room nearby so that you can rest before another shift. Do they have those kind of benefits sometimes?
I guess some places, like especially around COVID time, some places, the hotels and stuff, they used to give nurses free hotels. But I never work in a place like, oh, you can, but there's a place that I worked. You can sleep there if you want and wake up and go to work the next day. Yeah. And like, remember when they had bad snow, even Texas had snow?
Yes.
I was at work and at night. In the morning, it was so bad. I had to take a hotel. I stayed hotel, but it was supposed to be for one night. Then the next day, this lady was telling me before that, she's like, oh, I need somebody on this day. I said, give me a bonus. I'll pay for my hotel. I'll pick it up. Yeah, she gave me $200. And I picked up. I went and got me a hotel. The hotel was like $60. It was cheap hotel. But I check in the morning and get off in the evening. Because, you know, they check in because I was working night. And I called the hotel. They told me, yeah, don't worry, we can do that. So I was checking in when I got off at 7, I went there at 8, got shower, breakfast, and I went to sleep. In the evening at 7, I went to work. The next day I did the same thing. So they paid for my hotel. Then I stayed there for 2 nights instead of driving back home because it's a little bit of like 45 minutes drive, but when the snow is bad, it's gonna take you maybe 2 hours. Because I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I told Alex to stay at your dad. Tell your dad to pick you up. Then, yeah, his dad picked him up from school. Then I stayed there for 2 days. Yeah.
Okay. That's very, very good.
Yeah, they can do stuff.
Okay, let me check another question.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the there are someone is asking about if you're a blockchain developer. I don't know what is blockchain, but developer might be someone in IT. What can you get a job? You'll get a job, but what I usually tell people, you can correct me. Don't come with expectation. IT this level in my country, and the day you arrive in America, you think you will be able to get the job at this higher level.
It's not. America, man, they have their own level of like maybe their school. So every school, every country have their own curriculum. You come from your country, you have your own curriculum. Americans have their own curriculum. So it might not meet the standards that they want. So that's why they won't take it. So you either have to go to school again or you have to take a test. Like nursing, wherever you go, like maybe say in Tanzania, the level of nursing curriculum is very low. That's why you cannot come and become a nurse here. Unless you take the test and you pass, then you get your license. You cannot, you have to start. Go to school. Even doctors. When I was doing my BSN, we had this lady, she was from Nigeria. She was a doctor in her country. You know, when she came here, she cannot practice as a doctor. She was teaching us classes, and she was bitter. You know, when I say bitter, like, you know, when somebody's like mad, like, I'm supposed to be doctor, but I'm here teaching, because she couldn't. So yeah. It's not easy. Yeah.
Oh, and someone made a comment and I forgot about drink. I'm having my bottle of water and the people are fasting. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
I almost took a sip of my smoothie here, but
if you want to drink, you have to do this. I appear on my screen alone here, and then you drink. If
Oh,
I want to drink, I put myself with it.
yeah, now you have to.
I forgot. Yeah. Okay. Anything? Someone is making a comment. Anything? Technology is good. Machine learning, data science, blockchain, or whatever. Yeah. But remember, the problem is here in the US, they need a certification within because there are different regulations.
Okay.
Even someone certified as registered nurse, maybe in West Virginia, there are states once you get registered, they have like agreeing this certification can work in this number of states.
People, let me say, he was a nurse in California, let me say.
Yeah.
When they come to Ohio, they have to transfer their license. They cannot use the license like here. But they have something called compact states. There's some states you can use the same license, but in Ohio, Ohio is harder. I don't know. I think it's harder because everybody who comes from different places, they come here, they say it's difficult to change their license. But when I'm from Ohio, I took my license in Ohio. I go to other states. All I do is just transfer. So they have different regulation, curriculum. It depends on your curriculum, or what did you learn. I mean, what your school was teaching, is it compared to what they want? So that's how it is. So it's not, you can just go here and go work here and go work here. It's not going to be accepted.
Yeah, so that is the thing people have to know. Like, it's not just we jump in here because you're coming a doctor learning about to treat malaria. There is no malaria here. So it's up to you. How are you going to and you are using like did you go and walk into tap of water in the swamp? People walking in swamp here.
It's what do you call typhoid? There's no typhoid here.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, so it's different. Like, especially even somebody who went to school in China. Like I have a brother who went to school in China as a doctor. He cannot come here and practice. They have to be tested before they even allow them to do what do you call the internship. They have to go through so many tests before even they allow them to even come and do internship in America. China. So man, America have their own standards, man. Their standards are high, especially when it comes to healthcare. Their standards is very high, very high.
There is someone made a comment to you is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Who is that?
Mauka Dante, Edna Nico Harper, Cleveland, planning to join Cleveland Clinic is, what is EHST?
What?
EHST, I don't know what is that. Is abbreviation for something medical related, I don't know.
He said he's planning to join, or he's in Cleveland Clinic?
Currently he's in Cleveland. And he's planning to join Cleveland Clinic is
he said John. Okay, he joined Cleveland Clinic as an EH. I don't even know what is that. What is that?
Yeah.
Dante. What does that supposed to mean? I used to work for Cleveland Clinic, a rehab hospital. I quit. You know, like the thing about Cleveland Clinic, they have really good name, good reputation, but they don't pay, man. They don't pay. Those people don't pay. I would like to be part of them, but they don't really pay as much. Sometimes, like right now, what I get paid, some hospitals don't pay that much. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I go where the money is. I follow the money. What's it? Go where the money resides.
Yeah.
Is that song? That's me, man. I'm not gonna go. Oh, I work for this big company. No, I don't care. Like, I just go where the money is, man. I don't care where it is, as long as it's doable, safe. That's how I do. I follow the money.
Yeah.
And then right now, like I can work here. Then another opportunity comes in. Oh my God, they pay this much. They do this and this. The best. You know what? I put my application. I get in. I move. That's how I do. I am not gonna get stuck one place. I know it's not gonna benefit me. So I'm always on the move. Somebody told me, Tanzanian guy, he say, always look for more opportunity. Keep going higher.
Don't settle, yeah.
Yeah, don't say. That's what he said. Don't settle. Don't settle.
Okay. There is another question from Faustina Daco.
Mhm.
Please, with the CNA, what if it is being mentioned that it has been affiliated to the US? Do you still need another training when you get there? Is the person who asked the question if you are already CNA in Dubai or other country?
Oh, maybe if they say it's already affiliated, maybe it depends on where you took your classes. So if that's the case, they might.
But still, for me, like, because most of these exams are state-based exam.
Exactly. Like
So,
here,
I mean, yes, what you can do, you might get exemption of the course, maybe, but
yeah,
the exam, you must take
you
it.
have to take it so you can get your license for the state.
Because the license is also helping you with the lawsuit, like the mistake, the laws of that particular state.
Another thing that will help her. Well, in Dubai, they practice their regulation, everything differently. In Ohio, if you come here, you just want to go to work. How do you gonna know this is legal, this is not illegal? So it's nice if like it's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not a lot, but it will save you a lot. Because when I tell you, American people in the hospital and stuff, some of them they are not easy to deal with. I'm telling you, they're not easy. And you cannot even reply, like, somebody can call you names and everything. Guess what? Yes, ma'am. Sorry. I'm like, you cannot even say
Exactly.
anything back. If you
But
do, you can
in
report
Africa, you can say back and be in charge. Like, I'm not giving you
you can
medicine.
even
You say that.
like in here. So it's nice to know those things before you go in, because you can go to jail for something small. Like that's why I say this job needs a lot of patience, man. A lot of patience.
Yeah. So that is very, very true. Someone is responding. Mauka, who is in Ohio, is saying for CNA, you only need 75 hours of classroom work and can make more if you took LPN and N at least $25 per hour for a year course, 3 semesters, kind of that. Yeah. So
there is STNAs who make $25 an hour who work with the agency. I had the STNA make 35. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to go to school to become a nurse, go straight for RN. Because RN, you have more choices of where you can work. LPN, you are limited. Like right now, LPNs, they can only work in the nursing homes. If you want to work in a hospital, or maybe I want to work in maybe say dialysis in here, they don't take LPNs. It's RN. So if you want to go to school, just go for RN. That's what I think. If you really want to have to advance yourself, it's easy. But if you go to LPN, you take 2 years, let me say. Then you want to go to RN. It's like you starting over. You go for 3 years or 4 years, whatever. Then you want to go take your bachelor. It's like waste of money and time. But you go to straight RN, you advance to bachelor's, you advance to master's or PhD. It's easier and less money when you go straight to RN compared to.
Mauka is explaining what is EHST mean, and EBM is EHST is Health and Safety Officer. Plus, we also manage hospital waste biosafety.
Oh, okay, nice. Wow. Okay.
Another question: do nurses in the US have a paid leave to visit their home countries?
Yes, you can. You do. We do.
They
Some
don't
places
visit, obviously, whether you're a country or you are going to sleep, they don't care,
they
right?
don't care. Your vacation, you go. And another thing, some places like you get your vacation time, and also you accumulate time. The more hours you work, let me say you work like a place I used to work. Every 2 weeks, you get free 8 hours. Every 2 weeks, if you pick up more hours, you get more. Like you might end up getting 12. So by the end of the year, if you are the person who pick up a lot, instead of getting 40 hours of vacation time, you might end up with 80. You can use some and go on vacation. Sometimes you can catch the money. So you still get paid leave. But the crazy thing about America, I've seen a lot. Maybe you started working, they mostly give you 2 weeks. You don't get a whole month. But some places they understand we're from Africa. You go home, you don't only stay for 2 weeks. You talk to them,
Yeah.
they'll let you for a month. So it's nice. So, but you can take a month or 6 weeks. Like where I work right now, there's a guy who go to Africa. He's gonna take 6 weeks. They're okay with that. Then he work with them. He's nice and the people are nice. They let him go for 6 weeks. But you might not get paid 6 weeks, but they let him go for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Andrusa Mildred is having a question. Please, Mr. EBM, on behalf of Edna, what if you are not from a nursing background or overall science in your home country? How can you go about it to become a nurse or in a medical profession?
I was HGL. Can you imagine?
Yeah, history, geography, and English.
That one don't matter. You just come here, you go to the good thing about America. They don't say, oh, because you are HGL, you cannot become a doctor. You can become anything you want. Because I was HGL, no science, but I came here. I'm a nurse now. I had to take science classes. I had to take statistics. They don't care. It's you and your dream. You just go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Someone says you are a very strong woman because I mean, what you are doing, that person cannot be able to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. God.
Someone saying you did it well by taking them. Like, why should the people be ashamed of accessing benefits from their own taxes? After all, it is a temporal till you get back on your feet.
Oh, some people are ashamed. They won't even tell you.
Yeah, there is that. There are so many things. People, they take big deals sometimes. Like people, they think like, if I go to the food, especially like immigrant, how other people see or look at me. You are broke.
Exactly.
You want to go up.
You are broke. How you gonna get out of it? You need help. So if the help is there, use it. That's for me. I'm not ashamed. I know what I went through, and so also you will learn. You learn, and if you hear my story, it might help somebody else. It's like, oh my God, so it's possible. Because somebody might come like, oh no, I can. If I have a single mom, then let me give up. I cannot go to America because I'm not gonna be able to do it. I did it. And I'm telling you the ways I used to do it. So you're like, oh, so it's possible. Yeah, it is possible. If people want to ask more questions, they can follow my page. They can go to my YouTube channel. Like, I will help whoever wants help, whatever I can. I'm free to help anybody. Don't be ashamed. Ask me questions. Don't ask me too personal questions, but you can ask me anything about how to make it. I can help. And I'm not ashamed. I use help. I do use a help a lot. And it helped me. It helped me.
I just wanted to your page on Instagram is just I wanted to tag it here. People can be able to see. So if you go to Instagram.com, obviously, and you put Edna Ngowi, you'll be able to find you.
If there's two accounts, one account is got maybe 200 followers. I cannot access the account.
No, the one with the 20,000 is the one almost 21,000.
It's not private, so they can just go and click there.
Yeah, so I put the link on the comment.
Oh, thank you.
But also I'm going to put the link here on the just one sec. I'm going to put it on the screen. People can be able to see your page.
Thank you.
That is the page. So if you go to Instagram.com/Edna Ngowi, the page has almost 21,000. Usual over there, usual posts also a lot of tutorials or just some tips of so many things, so people can be able to get something.
Yep.
Okay. Someone is in Quenta watching from South Africa. Is Quenta watching from South Africa?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find your YouTube account. Let me find it because I'm using another account. I'm using another computer.
Okay.
Just wait. I can find you. I'm going to tag your YouTube account.
Okay.
The one I put the one with the the one with the 60 something subscribers, not the newer one.
Tell your followers to subscribe to my YouTube. Help me to go up. I only have, was it 64s?
Yeah.
64.
If someone goes to that one, which is your YouTube channel,
even the other one, I just travel, go here and there, and I just put in there. I think the other one I'm gonna make for travel and stuff, and the other one is like the education, because people ask questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, even this interview, the full interview will be there too. So for other people to access.
Also, people want my skin routine and stuff like that, which I'm still have to do. Somebody asked me a while ago. Oh, and another thing, I think somebody asked me before, if they are coming from another country, how is it easy to come here to care for the older people? So the process is still the same. You go to school, for 2 weeks to become a licensed, state tested STNA. Then you start working. You can pick to work. The good thing about become STNA, you can work anywhere: hospital, rehab facilities, nursing homes. Like you work everywhere that they need health care. The only place you cannot work, you can still work, but you have to take like some class, is to take care of retired. Mental MRDD. You know how MRDD, right? Yeah. You can still work as STNA, but they will make you do like there's some kind of medication class that so you are allowed to give them medication in their homes. So when you become STNA, you have a wide range of what you can do. But when you are CNA, you can only do people who are homes. You cannot do in hospital, because the people in the hospital, they normally they don't need as much help as the people in nursing home and stuff. So when you are STNA, you pay more work and they pay you more anyway. When you are STNA, when you are CNA, the advantage is they don't pay you as much as they pay STNA. So you pay less, they pay you less.
Okay, there is another question. I'm going to put it here.
Mm-hmm.
The question from Andusa says, maybe you have already answered this. Sorry for taking you behind. I joined late. What if you are a single mom and comes to the United States for the very first time? Mm-hmm. How can you go successful? How can you go successful to the nursing program?
That's the whole story, my story, because I'm a single mom. I was a single mom before even I become a nurse. So it's a process, but you can still do it. Like you just like we were talking about the childcare. You just try. If you come here, then you are a single mom. There's help out there. You can ask for help, government assistance. There's so many programs that they can help you to become who you are. For maybe you go to my my page, then she can if it's she or he ask me specific like where, or if she's still here or she's in Africa or whatever she is, I can tell her where to go. Also, maybe when we're done, she can listen to the interview because we explain in detail from the beginning. It's going to take a long time to explain again.
Yeah.
Or if she's Swahili, she can go to my channel and remember we talk about some stuff.
Yes.
Swahili too.
Yes. Yeah. If you go to this YouTube channel, if you speak Swahili, there is a full interview just about that.
Yeah.
There's another related question about not a single mother particular, but how do you balance your busy work schedule with the family life?
It's not easy. It's hard, but I'm a single mom, so it's just me and my son. So it's the day I have to go to work. Since I work days now, my son will be going to school in the morning until 3. He gets home at 3, but I get home at 7. So when I get home, I call him. I make sure, like, do you have homework? He does his homework. The days I'm off, I make sure I have some food in the house. Or sometimes now we have, what do you call, this air fryer, or he knows how to make some stuff. He's old enough now to fix himself some stuff if he's hungry, make himself some sandwich. So I make sure I have food in the house, and that's how I do. And if maybe he has some programs, like maybe that around the time they used to have basketball, if I'm off, then I'm there for him. But if I'm not, and he's not texting, but I try my best. I cannot be there for everything, but I try to do whatever I'm available. That's how I do it.
Someone is making a comment, Maulaya, say America is a great country by people. A nurse making 10,000 US dollar a month and above. Wow.
Yeah, hard work. You gotta work hard for it, but you can do it.
Yeah. Nantume Esther is saying, can someone who studied something else like agriculture join STNA when they come to America?
Yeah, you can. Yep. You can do whatever you want. Come there from your country, wherever you are, with a different degree, and come here, you want to change completely, you can do it. There is no limit. Only the sky is the limit, they say. You can do anything. That's a good thing about America. Like, even if you study, maybe your background was arts, whatever, you come here, you change your mind, you know what? I want to become a doctor. You can do it. There's no limit.
Yeah. One sec. So we have been here live for almost 2 hours now. There are so many questions from people. We answered most of them, few left. But for the matter of time, I want to give you the opportunity to ask me questions you have.
Me?
Yes, to ask me any question.
I don't I don't know what should I ask you, because man, we talk a lot together. Like, I don't know. I really don't have a question. Maybe if something comes up, I might. But I really, because you have so many interviews and I watch a lot of them, and I know you personally. So as of now, I don't have no question.
Yeah. So for overall, I wanted to say thank you for you taking the time, accepting being live with me here in the special this very, very, very late night.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Like we talk about working overtime, balancing with the work with the family, and to get extra time to share something like this. It shows you how much you care also for other people, also to succeed. You care, you know for sure what you are doing can inspire so many other people, like what you have been doing, inspiring other people through your YouTube and also through your Instagram account, which I've tagged here, instagram.com/Edna Ngowi, which I was already, yeah, we are starting with E. So you have been doing a lot of work, which many people appreciate. So I want to appreciate what you have been doing, and please keep doing what you are doing and don't stop. Even if you post a video, there are 10 views. You never know if all 10 have been benefiting.
Yeah.
You can have 10 views, 7 they took your advice and whoever, and you can have 1,000 views and people just watch maybe 2 minutes and then they stop. So sometimes it's not about the views, it's the impact you are doing, which you have been having a very good impact. So keep doing what you are doing, and don't hesitate anytime if we ask you for another time to come here on live. We'll be able to share with you some more questions.
Thank you, and Good for a chance. You gave me a chance, and I'm sorry, man, because how long will we be planning this?
Usually, I want usual to be the interview for an hour, maximum an hour and a half. But depending on the other people's questions.
No, I mean, remember we you talk about a long time we're gonna do it. I'm like, let's do this day, then it doesn't happen. You do this day, it don't happen. Wow, and I'm like, I feel like, man, he's gonna think like I'm trying to avoid him or something.
No, I know the schedule in America, especially with kids and you have job.
Yeah.
It is very. I understand. Sometimes when you're Africa, you call someone, say, "I'm busy. No, can I call you later?" And you don't call.
Yeah.
Avoiding me? No, we know like why.
Understand patient.
Yeah, so I understand the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone is asking, Edna, can't do video in English on your channel? Yes, she has some in English, some in Swahili, but she's going to be now very committed. Yeah.
I will be very committed now. And just go to my page.
Just subscribe.
Page and go to subscribe to my channel. I have 2 channels. One I just post when I go like on vacation, whatever. That's what I post my video, and I have more videos I need to post. And also another one is more about interviews and education and stuff. So you can go on my Instagram and DM me like, what do you want to see on my channel? I'll take ideas and I'll work on it. So I will do in English. Like you say you want in English, I will do that.
Yeah, so we have to end here. I know there are a few small questions. We'll figure out with those ones, because if we continue, some people are coming new and we can be here. And already it is another long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
who was with us from the beginning, who came join us, thank you for being here and watching us, listen to us. So welcome to our channels and be there. We'll keep doing whatever we try to do to help people, and like we say, you can suggest and what do you want to see, and we'll be glad and to take our time when record or do live or ask what is his name to do more interviews. We'll be glad to do that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that means that is going to conclude our live session today. Yeah, I believe people will be able to subscribe and they have learned something from today.